Hello there, I'm Critic, and I have a theory. I have a theory that there is a new scourge of the studio executive. It's not running over budget. It's not running over time and deadlines. It's not even mysterious plagues or natural disasters. The new scourge of the studio executive is Millennial Woman.
Yeah. Weird.
Now, it needs to be said that obviously this doesn't apply to all lady starlets out there. Some have the nous to negotiate an interview. However, some don't. Some have an agenda. Some are just genuinely quite opinionated and off-putting. And some are somewhat naive. And I rather feel that Milly Alcock falls into that naive area. As, although it's been highlighted, the negative things that she said, what I like to call anti-marketing, the things will actively put somebody off going to see your film. And let's face it, Supergirl needed every single bit of help it could possibly get. Supergirl was never really looking like it was going to set the box office ablaze. And studio executives would have been like, just say good stuff, don't say bad stuff. And whatever you do, don't let Milly get drunk and get ambushed by some LGBTQ activist with 15 odd viewers. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. So before that, we'll go back a little bit. Supergirl was attracting some ire from the Christian sect of the fandom, if you want to call it that. And she had some fairly unpleasant comments directed towards her by what you could say to be male Christian people. Unfortunately, what happened was Milly reacted. Now, does she have a right to react to these things that are said towards her? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Milly Alcock does. But at the same time, you need to have some level of tact when it comes to these things. You need to be aware that you are essentially representing the studio, the IP, and the movie. So Milly Alcock previously, her biggest role was Rhaena Targaryen in HBO's House of the Dragon, which I am boycotting because I will only watch that when either Winds of Winter is released or George R.R. Martin dies. Place your bets on which of those is going to happen first. But she would have got baited, and her line was basically, it definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We've become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. In itself, not necessarily a particularly bad comment. I don't think there's anything particularly inherently wrong in what she said. But she goes on. A lot of people whose profiles have no photo, who are burners account, or someone's name and then dad of 4 Christian, which is hilarious to me. But I mean, whose opinion do you really care about? If you're pissing off the right kind of people, you're doing okay. You needed to stop before that. The first bit was fine. But I see what you're saying, Milly. You're pointing out the inherent hypocrisy in somebody saying horrible things and then saying obviously dad of 4 Christian, blah 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 blah. But you still, by using that example, you are going to be alienating a good chunk of your potential fan base. I hate to say this, and you may not have realised, Superman's kind of an allegory for Jesus.
I am Jesus! I am Jesus!
Man sends his only son to Earth to teach people how to be good and how to be the best version of themselves. And I'm not even a religious man. But, the parallels are clear. So when you turn around and in your quote say, dad of 4 Christian, yeah, not so great. But it got worse. And by no means do we need to say that all of Milly's PR tour has been a disaster. No, it hasn't. Not at all. I've watched a lot of her interviews. I watched her Lad Bible Snack Wars. She seems like a lovely person. She seems quite down to earth. She says like too much, like most millennials, but she seems like a nice person. You can see in the interview where she drew this backlash for falling into the pride trap, as it were, that the look in her eyes shows that perhaps she's maybe not quite as with it as she should be. I might have enjoyed the complimentary champagne a bit too much. She's having a good time. She's entitled to. But you are going to, at these events, have people with their own agenda coming up to you, especially during Pride Month. Whether it's the chap with the infuriating voice, "Do you think this is the gayest movie ever?" Or, in this case, you've got somebody coming up saying, you know,
over the years, many fans have embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think is about Kara that inspires that kind of connection?
Some people can only relate to a character if it's exactly like them. You know, that sort of represents them in sexual orientation, look, beliefs, or whatever. They don't look at the inner qualities of that person, that hero, relate to character traits, ideals, or the profundity of their beliefs and ethical core structure. No, it's just sexual orientation. And there are people like that. So she's had a few drinks, feeling good, gets ambushed by this question, and with a certain amount of naivety, just gives an answer.
I think I played a few characters that might have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends, so honestly, I'm kind of honoured.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good line, Milly. Go with that. You can say things like, I think she's such an open character that you can associate anything with her. She just represents what is good, doing the right thing, finding the... You can just spill any level of bollocks you want regarding this and just be like, look, yeah, she's so many things to so many people, and she had so much fun making this movie, and I really hope people go and see it and see this, this character journey. I mean, there is no character journey, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. We want to send our fans on, or something like that. Something like that. But she goes on, and
I think because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be, that is what makes her so special and so exciting and so new.
And then she's sort of like, she says something like,
I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all.
Brakes! Put the brakes on, Milly! Milly, no! By doing that, you've just alienated a load of people. The only people that care that it's not centered around a man are radical feminists. It's a very small percentage of your audience that didn't turn up for your fucking movie anyway. You need to make as many people come to your movie as you possibly can. By saying it's not centered around a man and you love that it's not centered around a man, you are echoing one of the most famous fuck-ups in PR, the infamous Rachel Zegler.
No longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
she's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Now, I don't believe that you are as acerbic and bitter as Rachel Zegler seems to be for some reason, who spectacularly detonated her own career. Milly seems to be a nicer person, but saying that is dumb. Love is a universally approachable and relatable subject and approach. Everybody understands love. Love does bypass all of these barriers that we're talking about. Nearly everybody falls in love. Apart from these weird little goblin creatures that just live a life of social media and mental illness and isolation. Everybody falls in love. 99.9% of the planet thinks or relates to love. There's nothing wrong with love. And again, this is nearly exactly the same thing that Rachel Zegler said and fucked up her movie and her career. Milly, what are you doing? Where are the studio executives saying, look, no? Why didn't the studios know? What are you doing? Don't go out there and say, oh, I'm glad it doesn't relate to a man. Don't go out there and say, oh, I'm glad it's not about love. You don't have to say it is, because it's not about men. The whole film is phenomenally misandrist. The bad guys are a race made entirely of men. And they are the most despicable, evil, horrible. Every single man in this is portrayed as an absolute belligerent moron arsehole. Except for one. And even he kind of is, but he's got a reason for it because of the colour of his skin. So we can't make him bad. Maybe just misguided. Misguided to be fine. I'll do a review of the film in a minute. I just want to talk about this anti-marketing at first, and it is just phenomenally naive. Somebody should have gone to Milly and given her a copy of what Rachel Zegler said and just said, under no circumstances say any of this. Any of it. None of it. This is banned. Do not say this. And then she should have had a chaperone with her, like, no, don't let her get too drunk. The film is tanking, and it deserves to. It's a bad film. It's still better than the Marvels, and I'll die on that hill. But it's a bad film. It's not a good film. It needed every single bit of help that it could possibly get to boost its box office, its opening box office. That's the one that matters. Superhero movies like this very rarely have legs. Very rarely get a second viewing. Exceptional films like Spider-Man No Way Home, which had all the fan service, all the effects, all the great character work, but a plot full of holes like a spider web. This is not that. This had to have a big opening. And on top of that, this is the second film in the new Guns DCEU. And we're going to talk about the film in a minute. She had to have better press tour than this. She fell into all the traps. Obviously, some of this is her own beliefs, and that's fine. People have different beliefs, but before social media, we didn't know it. Now we do. As The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson, recently said, keeps out of it. I want to talk about the movie. I want to talk about, my politics don't matter. Politics put people off. Politics are divisive. Don't talk about that. Talk about how much fun you had making the film. Don't listen to the people who bait and try and draw it one way or the other. And that would include the people that, on the opposite side of the aisle. If you're trying to get baited into making some kind of, anti-migrant, anti-LGBTQ quote. Don't do that either. Switzerland, stay neutral. The film, you are promoting the film. You're not there to talk about your beliefs. So she fell into all the traps, and Supergirl tanked. Absolutely tanked. Now, again, I have to say 100% it's not all Milly's fault. I wouldn't even say that it's the majority of it is Milly's fault. I think the trailers were underwhelming. I think that people are kind of tired of superhero movies. They're certainly tired of this James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, jaded hero bollocks. I think what people want to see right now, and this is one of the reasons why I think Spider-Man is so popular, they want to see the positive. They want to see the have a go hero. And that was not Supergirl. So, Milly didn't help, but it's not her fault that the film tanked. She just, they needed every single dollar, and she would put at least a few people off going to see the film. And you need the people that turn out regularly to go see films, which is, strange enough, hate to say it, white men, to go see the film. Women didn't turn up, because women don't want to see this. It tries to be some kind of feminist empowering film, but it really isn't. Supergirl Kara is not really a character that you can root for. So, with all that anti-marketing talk out of the way, and thank you for staying with me if you have done so, let's have a quick review of the film. Supergirl is a generally unpleasant film to endure. The character is just not a nice person. Apparently she's dealing with the trauma of being ejected from Argos, which was a part of Krypton that they managed to put in a bubble and launch away before Krypton destroyed, but it was the only one. And they did it just as Clark was launched away in his pod. And then they find out that the Krypton in the bit of city is killing them all, and they all die and send Kara away, even though they've got space travel and they made Kara a capsule. So why didn't they make more capsules? Don't worry about it. These are the problems in this film's plot. So she's all sad because of that. And because she's sad, she drinks and parties to try and get over her trauma. I'm so sick of this already. We don't need this. So she goes around, steals drinks, gets in fights, goes to red suns, and the colours are very important. They're even on the, when the planet comes up, it even says what kind of sun it is, and you won't believe why. So she goes to red suns so that her powers diminish and she can have drinks. She's not a hero. She's not really even smart. And she's extraordinarily selfish, wallowing in her own despair, despite knowing that she has all these powers. We then get the sort of side plot. So there's a family that make weapons. They make weapons, but apparently they're all innocent and lovely and brilliant. Obviously, also a diverse family. And the bad guy, who we don't know anything about, is called Krem. He's just bad. He's just bad and full of piercings. So I feel like the body modification crowd, somebody else who might not go and see this film because they're his evil piercings. And they're all men. And they go and they want the weapons. And there's an accident and they end up killing all the family. And the little girl, Ruthie, I think her name is, who's horribly annoying in that stereotypical annoying little girl sidekick kind of way. She's doing this posh accent. She's awful. Awful. Every second she's on screen is just a burden. Wants revenge and goes around with the sword and obviously, you know, falls in with Kara, basically. But the only reason that Kara agrees to help her is that just as the girl is detailing about Krem and what he's done, wouldn't you know it, Krem turns up and steals Kara's ship. And as Crypto, who's the only one to notice, runs back to the ship, Krem shoots him with a little dart and Crypto's got 3 days to live. Can't take him to a yellow sun place because moving him, he wouldn't survive. Leaving him on the red sun planet that's bad for him is what you need to do. But Kara's incredibly selfish. She cares about Crypto. She wants to save Crypto. So they're off. Her ship's been stolen, so she literally gets on a bus. And the bus gets attacked by lady tech pirates with mechanical spiders. There's a load of Guardians of the Galaxy-esque bollocks. But basically, Kara ends up going out of an airlock and starts to freeze, just like Guardians of the Galaxy. But then the yellow sun rises from behind a planet and she gets powers and beats all the pirates up. Just while I pause the review, because this film is genuinely painful. This film was written by somebody with 0 credits. 1 short movie credit before this. She's done some acting. But they gave your vital make or break movie to a writer with 1 previous credit. Serious questions have to be called about James Gunn's leadership here. Oh, good Lord. You know, I'm struggling to actually remember what happened after that. So beat the pirates. The bus goes off. They just go to like another planet. They're trying to find Krem because Krem's got the antidote. They can't make any antidote. Krem's the only one who's got the antidote on his person at all times for this toxin. There's absolutely no way that Kara could go anywhere now that she has yellow sun powers from the yellow sun rising behind her to get anybody to synthesize an antidote. She certainly couldn't contact her cousin back on Earth. Throughout the film, we get interspersed flashbacks that fill us in exposition-wise on all the stuff that's happened. Krypton just looks like Earth, pretty much. It's all just terrible. Anytime David Corenswet turns up, he's a dork. Superman. He's like, "Ooh." They go to various bars. I think they go to another bar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they go to another bar. And there's all men in there, and they're all evil. Urgh. Somebody wanted every single bar to be the cantina in Star Wars. But whereas the cantina in Star Wars was exotic, you know, famous John Williams music, like alien voices and all that kind of stuff, and just one guy speaking English. No, in here, they just go in, it's like a lounge singer. She's singing in English, singing some song, and the music in this is so bad. The needle drops in this are so bad. Guardians of the Galaxy's got a lot to answer for. And there's a nice couple of colour behind the bar. And there's a big fight in the bar because they want Rufy, because they're men and they're evil. And Supergirl just wants to find out where Krem is. And Rufy wants to find out where Krem is. There's a big fight while Rufy... The camera focuses on Rufy in the corner cowering while Supergirl dispatches all the bad men. Because that way we don't have to suspend our belief with all of the accommodating stuntmen. After that, the nice family, the proprietors of the bar, who just happen to be people of colour, say, oh, you know, we can help you. We have a friend who can help you get Krem. And they go back to their place, and the man goes off. He's like, I'm going to go get the friend, come back, and then we'll take you to Krem. And even though they're on a yellow sun planet where Kara's been able to beat the shit out of everybody, Kara gets poisoned by the woman. And it turns out that they've sold her out to Krem to get their daughter back. The bad guy faction, who are called brigands, I think they're literally just called brigands. It's like, do you realise that's a general term? Anyway, kidnap girls to propagate their own race, but they're all men. So, I hate to say this, there's a thing in nature called parthenogenesis, where females can reproduce without the need of a male. Yay, feminist utopia! But all of the offspring are female. Yay, feminist utopia! Surely if one of these male brigands, who are all very pale and absolutely nobody could be mistaken for being Muslim. While I remember, my channel recently got restricted. Restricted features, restricted access. Basically, a limiter or a throttle has been placed on my channel. Now, my last video happened to be about Citizen Vigilante. It's right after that my channel got throttled. So what I would say is, I normally forget to say this. If you do like what I do here, feel free to give me a like, comment, or subscribe. Simple as that, really, because it feels like there's some kind of shadow war going on with YouTube, and I do find it quite suspicious that this all happened to me right after I made a video about reviewed Citizen Vigilante. Stealing all these child brides to propagate with, they only have males? There's no female brigands? What happens to the female? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Surely a faction who's all male, the zygotes, no, just forget it. Just a stupid superhero film now. Just forget it. Anyway, so they're bad. That's what you need to know. Men bad. All men faction even badder. And they're trying to steal these girls, and there's this horrific action scene where, like, the tanks they steal the girls in are falling from the sky. It's horrible. It's awful. It's ugly. There's a couple of nice little shots from Craig Gillespie, you know, sort of trying to get something out of all of the shite that he's having to film, but it's just ugly. Ruth sneaks away and somehow has an opportunity to kill Krem all on her own. But then Supergirl stops her, and because she stops her, Krem goes and murders the family that betrayed Supergirl, and that's basically all Kara's fault, because she could have just grabbed Krem and, like, thrown him into space or something. You always said it's some planet, but no, she just grabs Rufy, and then Krem goes off and kills the people. This is like this is your end of Act 2 low point, and this film's like long. At this point, I think we're like an hour and 10 minutes in, and I am like, please, I'm done. I'm done by all the bollocks I've seen. I'm done by men being universally evil wankers, apart from the one black man in the entire, the entire film. I'm just done with it. This is horrible. There's no superhero. It's just badly done Guardians of the Galaxy. The reason Guardians of the Galaxy works is because James Gunn is very good at taking a disparate bunch of people with varying temperaments and personalities and just melding this kind of kooky team out of them. And in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he very effectively used cute animals to get the heart of the film. In this, we've got a cute animal, Crypto. We don't care. He's CGI. He looks like bollocks the whole time through. He's rubbish. Crypto has no personality, so we don't care if he's dying. Milly Alcock's acting okay, but we don't care about the core conceit of the film. It's like these brigands, and we know that they're stealing child brides and all that kind of stuff, and they're evil. Kara knows there's evil around the galaxy. She knows she can stop it, but no, she just wants to wallow in her own self-pity with that fucking dog, and she won't even get off her ass until the dog's poisoned. Your superhero, ladies and gentlemen, Supergirl. Anyway, So after all this bollocks, I think Kara goes off looking for Krem again, and she gets ambushed by somebody who's working for Krem and left in a cave on a planet with a green sun. Yes, a green sun. They don't exist in astrophysics. Yeah, astronomy. There is no such thing as a green sun. Don't worry about that. Oh, and Lobo showed up. I forgot to mention him because he's only in the film for like 10 minutes in 3 sections. Like it's basically like 3 cameos. And Jason Momoa's just being Jason Momoa. He's fine. He's born to play Lobo. Lobo's fun, at least. So while Kara's dying on the green planet, Ruth, Lobo have all been captured. And Ruthie manages to escape by tricking the guard and escapes and tries to kill Krem. And there's like this also battle type thing, and she gets captured up on the deck as they go and fight these pirates. And it's just all shit and horrible. Lobo's been freed as well by Ruthie. And then just as Krem's about to kill, or worse, Ruthie, you look behind and Supergirl's there. And this planet, as well as having a green sun, it's got a yellow sun. And just as the green sun was about to kill Kara, the green sun went away and the yellow sun come up and gave her all the powers. You're telling me that Krem put on a planet where there was a yellow sun, knowing full well that the yellow sun wasn't going to give her powers? I mean, he knows the green sun's going to take her powers away and kill her, so he must know the yellow sun's going to give her powers. The fuck wrote this?
What, are you retarded?
Who the fuck wrote this piece of... Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the woman with 1 fucking writing credit. Oh, please just let this film end. Anyway, Supergirl shows up and just wrecks the place. He just wrecks Supergirl powers, blah, 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 blah. But then Krem shoots her with some kryptonite darts that he had for some reason that he made just for her. He made a poison earlier to poison her. And now he's using kryptonite darts. He's in a yellow sun. Oh, this film is such a piece of shit. Anyway, she kind of rips out the kryptonite darts, but she doesn't get all of them, and she's in trouble. And then Lobo turns up, and Lobo, smash, 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 my man. And the ship crashes into a mountainside, explodes. And all the people on it, like, thrown clear. Obviously, loads of men are dead, but they're only men. Don't worry about it. They're all evil. And then Ruthie goes flying, and Kara has to go back and save the brides who are safe in the hold of the ship, despite it exploding. And rather than just grabbing the cage and just pulling the cage out of the hole, she just opens the cage and lets them all walk out into the middle of a battle, because apparently there are still loads of guys left, and they're all getting in tanks and stuff. And there's a great big battle with loads of slow-mo, and it looks like shit, and the needle drops absolute bollocks, and everything's just absolute wank, and it looks horrible, and it's horrible. It's just probably like the worst 10 minutes of film that I've seen. Like, it's just horrendous. This horrible kind of music playing, and it looks very Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, when I reviewed Alien Romulus, I said Ridley Scott's stink was all over it. James Gunn's stink is all over this film. He may not have a directing credit, he may not have a writing credit, but he is all over this film. But it's James Gunn done incredibly badly. So, current James Gunn. And yeah, there's this big fight, and loads of people die, and then one of the female brides saves either Supergirl or Kara, or Ruthie, I can't remember, on a turret, because girls get it done. And basically, Ruth has an opportunity to kill Krem and doesn't, and she's like, no, because Kara's like, you can't kill him, it'll ruin you, it'll destroy you. I don't know how she knows this, unless Kara's killed people. With this Supergirl, doesn't surprise me. And then Kara just kills Krem, she just kills him, dead, murders him, flat out murders him. Like, worse, this is worse than Superman in Man of Steel. People were like, oh god, no, Clark Kent doesn't kill people, he snaps Zod's neck. You don't have much of a choice. He's against another superhuman, that superhuman's about to kill a family. He snaps Zod's neck. Kara just flat out murders this guy who's helpless. Just stabs him with the sword. The end, and then Kara goes to Earth. Because before she was on Earth, and she's like, I don't like it on Earth, I've got to go somewhere because I'm all sad. I need to go and get drunk and just be a rebel. And then she comes back to Earth, she's like, oh, I'm ready for Earth now. And it ends mercifully. Krypton's okay, all the evil men are dead. The end. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. Don't go see it. Don't even watch it on streaming. It's not worth watching. It is better than the Marvels. Milly Alcock. There's a couple of things I liked about it. I'll be very, very quick. There's a few lines of dialogue that are actually okay. That actually have something resembling heart. Milly Alcock, not terrible. She's not terrible. She's a fine actress. I don't like this what she's been asked to portray, but she's a fine actress. The child actress whose name I didn't even look up is awful. Don't care about that. Lots of practical effects. In the attempt to go for the kind of Star Wars aliens all over the kind of place, there's lots of practical masks, and it gets a point for that. And there's a few flashes of Craig Gillespie at least attempting to put something into the film that, you know, represents artistry. But it looks ugly. The cinematography is just awful. The person who did the colour grading needs to be fired. The lighting is terrible. The vast majority of the dialogue is pretty bad. The plot is atrocious, and the music is like the soundtrack. The score, when I heard it, was fine if generic, but the actual soundtrack is some of the worst selected songs that I've to put to film I've ever heard, and it's awfully misandrist, phenomenally feminist, bad feminist movie. So that's your review. And that's why Supergirl's done awful, because that's most of the reviews, apart from the shill ones. It's not worth seeing. It is better than the Marvels, I think. And it's better than the Marvels because it has some ideas, some plots, some minimal explorations of character or a character through line. I mean, Supergirl's the same as she was before, but at the end of the film as she was at the start of the film, more or less. But there are some moments of profundity that are in the film. There are some elements that was like, oh my God, that's almost like an arc or something happening, which just didn't happen in the Marvels at all. But it's an awful film, and that's why it's done bad. And that's why Warner Brothers, who are in so much trouble money-wise, needed every single star to align on this film to even have a chance of making money. As it is, this film is looking like it is going to struggle to even box office its budget. And then bear in mind, last year gets half of that. So this film is easily on for losing Warner Brothers $200 million. It's terrible. Its PR was terrible. But will Warner Brothers learn their lessons? Will they? I mean, the fact they allowed this to happen after watching the debacle that was Snow White is bad enough. Will other studios learn their lessons? Or will we continue to see anti-marketing? My bet's on the latter. Anyway, thanks for listening or watching. I have been Critic, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.